In today's video, we get to see some of the most bizarre slides ever to exist in the entire world. We're gonna be seeing an almost vertical slide that will most probably make your heart stop, and a tragic story turned children's entertainment. But first, let's look at a slide so fast that it just might be out of your life. Midori no Furusato Park. We've talked about Japan's longest roller slide, but now let's talk about a slide which Japanese TV has dubbed to be the country's most dangerous. You'd think that this would be found in theme parks or at attractions, but this deadly slide actually makes its home in your regular playground. Located in Imabari City is the Midori no Furusato Park, which houses a decent-sized playground which in turn houses a 60-meter-long slide that is absolutely not recommended for beginners. So, what is it with this ride that's made people so scared to try? Well, not only is it high, but the speed at which you go down is so insane that you end up skidding your bottom on the ground as a landing. Or if you're unlucky enough, then you skid, tumble, and fall, kinda like this guy right here. Various videos have been uploaded of people trying out the slide, and none of them have had a safe landing. Unfortunately for those who wanted to try it out, due to a lot of safety concerns, the slide has been closed for good. The Leap of Faith. There are many different kinds of slides, with water slides being one of them. People of all ages enjoy going on these slippery contraptions, be it a small child or a grown adult, as it gives you the thrill of experiencing high speeds. However, if you think that the regular slides aren't as exciting enough for you, then you might be interested in the next one here. One look at this water slide located in the Aquaventure water park in Dubai, and you're probably gonna go, yeah, no. However, for thrill seekers, this slide just might be the one they've been looking for. Called the Leap of Faith, this slide surely lives up to its name with the way it's structured. Found on top of a Mayan temple in the middle of the water park, this slide has a whopping height of 60 feet and is so steep that it's almost vertical. And that's not even the most thrilling part of it. After plunging down at a speed of 35 miles per hour, you then get transported through shark-infested waters, and yes, you heard that right, sharks infesting waters. Despite that though, no worries as you safely go through it in an underwater tunnel. So, you brave enough to dare and take a leap of faith? Printemps Mall Slide. So, just imagine that you're on the 5th floor of a mall and you want to get down, but after all the tiring and endless walking around, you find yourself getting a tad bit lazy. What do you do then? Well, fortunately for you, the mall that you're in is the Printemps department store located in Shanghai. With this store, you can just easily slide down to the ground floor. That's right, found inside the mall is a 5-story, 177-foot-long twisting slide. Apparently someone had the grand idea to design it so that it resembles a dragon, twisting and turning until the end. With a height of 60 feet, this slide will take you only 16 seconds to shoot down. Pretty quick and convenient, right? Well, while it may sound fun, when it was first revealed, it actually gained mixed reactions from the local netizens, ranging from fear to awe. Although there were many who said that they were keen on enjoying the thrill ride, some pointed out a few safety concerns. One of the top concerns was whether people's bottoms would be safe, with people saying that it would feel like being on fire or even making your pants worn out. However, these concerns were addressed with the ride going through safety checks. And as for those worried about their bottoms, well, worry no more, as customers are required to wrap themselves in cotton bags provided by the staff to avoid possible injuries. OUE Skyslide. Ever wonder what it would feel like to glide through the air while enjoying the view underneath you? Well, we got just the slide for you. Simply head up to the 70th floor of the US Bank Tower in Los Angeles, which is also the tallest building in the area, and look for the OUE Skyspace. This is the home of the famous Skyslide. The OUE Skyspace is the tallest open-air observation deck in California, which offers visitors a 360-degree view of the city. However, it's not just that. Protruding out from the side is the 45-foot-long slide which goes down to the balcony of the 69th floor. It's made out of 1 1/4-inch thick glass and is around 1,000 feet above downtown Los Angeles. The Skyslide claims to provide an epic 360-degree view of the area, but it's not a view that you can savor for as long as you'd like. The ride itself only lasts about 3 to 4 seconds. You sit on a mat given to you, and then you send sliding over the streets of LA and finally get dropped onto the observation deck below. Pretty fun, am I right? Well, unfortunately for all those who want to try this out, you may no longer have the chance to do it as it closed before the pandemic and will not reopen. Pretty sad day for thrill seekers. The Titanic Sinker. Everyone knows about the tragic story of the cruise ship the Titanic, of how it hit an iceberg and sunk deep into the ocean, causing more than 1,000 deaths. So normally one would associate sad memories with it, right? Well, not for this Japanese company who decided that it'd be a good idea to make an inflatable replica. Yeah, it seems pretty sound. Take a sinking ship and turn it into children's entertainment. I mean, really, what went through the designer's mind that made them think that designing a fun and bouncy slide shaped like one of the worst maritime disasters in history was great? Well, granted, in Italy, there's a few animated adaptations that don't do it justice either. The inflatable sinking Titanic first appeared in the year 2016 and was up for rentals. When it first came out, social media users slammed it with negative comments. Despite the bad responses it got, though, the company, which is based in Shizuoka, has yet to comment on the criticisms. However, they weren't the only one putting up the cruise ship's inflatable slides for hire. Just last year, the sinking Titanic slide has been popping up at Chicago events, including a Chicago Street Fest, and that's one way to surely remember the events back then, I suppose. Great Wall of China Slide. Did you know that you could actually slide down the Great Wall of China? I'm not talking about a replica or the likes, but the real actual Great Wall. Yeah, you heard that right. You can actually take a toboggan slide, or also known as the Alpine Slide, down the side. Pretty amazing, huh? It's not every day that you get to hear about going down one of the world's wonders. Considering this, you'd be expecting the place to be crowded, right? Well, good news to those who want to go, because the slide is actually located in a less trafficked, less touristy part, which offers you quite a unique experience. Found in a section called Mutianyu, the area is about 2 hours north of Beijing and is not as popular as the Badaling area, which is closer to the city. Once you reach the area, you have two options. One, you could take a cable car to the actual wall, or two, you could walk if you have the guts to dare. Now you might be wondering as to how long the slide is. Well, with a whopping length of 1,580 meters, this ride takes about 5 minutes going down, and that also depends on your speed, as you can adjust how fast or slow you can go with the help of the brakes found on the tiny little car that you ride. Perfect way to end your visit, am I right? Tabayama Roller Slide. You ever find yourself in Japan, then be sure to drop by Tabayama, which is a quaint village found in the mountains west of Tokyo. It's the perfect place to enjoy both the view and be in touch with nature. And if you want some peace and quiet, then you can also have that there as well. Until you suddenly hear screams, which isn't something to worry about, as it's also home to Japan's longest roller slide. So those screams you hear, nothing else but the sounds coming from the thrilled, or maybe even scared, riders. Opening in the late 1990s, the Tabayama slide isn't for the faint of heart, as it measures around 243 meters long. Not only that, when you go and pay for the ride, they only give you two things: a rubberized hard foam mat and a pair of cotton work gloves. The foam mat is what you use to go down the slide, but what about the gloves? Well, since it doesn't have any built-in brakes, then you use the next best thing available to you: your own hands. The ride starts off slow, which gives you a false sense of security before it slowly amps up the speed until it then gets so fast that it can take your breath away. Don't forget to put the gloves to use as you near the end in order to not overshoot your landing. Now it's time for today's best pick. Today's pick will force you to ask the question, is this even real? The Grater Slide. You take one look at this slide and you'd immediately think that it isn't real, and you're absolutely right, it isn't. However, this photo right here was made by a photo studio Stodinger Frank as an advertising campaign for children suffering from a rare skin disease called bullous epidermolysis. It's a genetic disease that causes fragile blistering skin, which may appear in response to the smallest of injuries, heat, rubbing, or even scratching. So why exactly did they make this campaign? Well, it was to help show awareness and for people to imagine how difficult the children's lives are living with this disease. But yeah, the cheese grater slide doesn't actually exist. Granted, there are some slides that look like one. City Museum Slides. If you've seen movies that have shots of being inside warehouses and factories, then you're most probably familiar with the chutes that they use to transport items from one place to another. Now though, you ever thought of going down those chutes yourself? If your answer is yes, then you've come to the right place. Found in St. Louis, Missouri, the City Museum is an abandoned shoe factory turned giant playground/museum. Inside the museum, you can find various recycled industrial debris all made into different areas, such as a labyrinth of underground cabins, numerous cubby holes, simulated caves, suspended bridges, and, you guessed it, a slide. But it's not just any regular slide. It's a 10-story tall slide made up of tight twists and turns, which is surely not a ride for those with weak stomachs. Oh, and did I mention that the slide used to be a chute where former workers would send shoes down to the other areas? Yeah, you heard that right. The chutes have been preserved and transformed into what is now a slide perfect for those looking for a thrill.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works.
The slide ArcelorMittal Orbit. Buckle your seatbelts, folks, because we're taking a look at one of the more unusual slides that we've ever seen. Called simply the slide, it's not really just a slide, but it's also a huge sculpture. Well, kind of. It's intertwined into a massive sculpture called the ArcelorMittal Orbit, or known as the Orbit as well. It is the largest piece of public art in Britain. Back in 2012, it temporarily closed after the Olympic and Paralympic Games and reopened on April 5, 2014. As a way to attract and gain more visitors, the London Legacy Development Corporation had the idea of building a slide onto the sculpture. And that's exactly what they did. They built the slide and it was completed in 2016. With a length of 178 meters and a height of 76 meters, the slide is both the tallest and longest tunnel slide in the world. If you were to ride this, it would take you around 40 seconds to reach the bottom. Sounds fun, right? Well, if you're a thrill seeker at least. The slide is not for the faint of heart, as not only is it tall and long, but it's also made up of many twists and turns, including a tight corkscrew. See you all next time!